140 years war between France and England. What happens when two kingdoms collide? Each believing they only deserve the crown, bound by blood yet divided by pride, their quarrel was no brief feud or skirmish. Instead, it stretches across 4 generations, 100 years of fire and war. The story begins in 1328 in France. King Charles IV had died without sons, leaving the royal line of Capetians broken. French law, the select tradition, was strict. No woman nor her descendants could inherit. The nobles chose Philip of Valois as a king. But across the Channel, Edward III of England objected, through his mother Isabella, a French princess. Edward was grandson to a French king. He believed his claim was stronger than Philip's and demanded recognition as rightful ruler. When denied, he declared war against France in 1337. Thus began the 100-Year War. Not one endless fight, but many campaigns. Long truces, uneasy treaties, and fierce outbreak, each wave more destructive than the last. At its heart lay rivalry and ambition, England seeking dominance, France refusing submission. The English struck first with startling victories. In 1346, at the Battle of Crécy, French knights charged in glittering armors, but they fell in thousands to England's longbows, common archers destroying nobles from distance, shattering the old code of chivalry. 10 years later came the Battle of Poitiers in 1356. Again the English triumphed decisively. This time King John II of France himself was captured on the battlefield in disgrace. The loss stunned the French nobility and England seemed poised to dominate all. Yet fate intervened in the deadliest way. The Black Death swept through Europe's lands, killing peasants, priests, nobles, and kings alike. Whole villages disappeared in the silence and ruin. Armies dissolved, cities mourned in despair, and war paused while death ruled supreme. When the fighting resumed, France struck back. King Charles V reclaimed lost territory, his generals harassing English strongholds with passions. But peace never lasted long in this rivalry, and soon the cycle of blood returned, driven by pride, vengeance, and ambition. By the early 14th century, England rose again. A new warrior king had taken the throne. Henry V was young, ruthless, and determined, and he revived dreams of conquering France. In 1415, his army faced the French at Agincourt in mud and rain. The English were exhausted, outnumbered, desperate, but longbowmen rained death upon their foes. French knights bogged down in mud, collapsed, tramped under their own armored comrades. The slaughter shocked all of the Europe, and England's victory became the legendary forever. It seemed the French crown was doomed, but history turned in an unexpected way. In 1429, a teenage peasant appeared, claiming visions sent to her from God. Her name was Joan of Arc, and she carried a banner of hope. Joan inspired a kingdom on its knees. She convinced the Dauphin Charles to fight. Leading soldiers, though barely 19 herself, she lifted the Siege of Orléans triumphantly. Her courage electrified a broken France and changed the course of the war. But her triumph became tragedy all too quickly. Joan was captured by French allies of England, sold to her enemies. She was tried, accused falsely of witchcraft and heresy. At 19, she was burned alive, yet her death made her martyr. Her sacrifice gave France new determination. No longer would they kneel in fear. The French crown embraced unity and gunpowder, fighting with cannons that shattered stone walls. Once mighty Castile crumbled under fire and England's grip weakened year by year. One by one, English holding fell. Their strength faded, their treasury drained, and political division tore them apart. The dream of ruling France collapsed until only Calais remained under control, a lonely fragment of lost empire. Finally, in 1453 came the end. At Castilian, French cannons thundered mightily. English commander was slain in the battle, and his army routed beyond repair. The 100 Years' War was finished, and France has triumphed at last. Its legacy reshaped all of Europe. The age of armored knights was over. The bow, the cannon, gunpowder were the true rulers of the battlefield. Kings grew stronger, nobles lost power, and nations began to forge identities. France emerged battered but united again. Centralized monarchy stronger than before. England, though defeated on the continent, turned its gaze outward to the seas. There it will build a new empire, trading land in France for oceans abroad. The 100 Years' War was more than crowns, castles, families, quarrels. It was a struggle for destiny and the birth of modern Europe, from Crécy arrows to Castilian cannons. Its echoes still ring through history of today.